What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? YouTube Nation. What's happening, folks? I got Kent in the house. Steven, Adrian, my man. Terry, Judge, Double D, Mr. Bean. Good to see you guys. Lance, what's going on, buddy? All right, let's just give the folks the usual couple of minutes, man, before we get started. We've got an awesome guest this evening. And if you guys, I know some of you guys out of states haven't had the opportunity yet to try out this restaurant, man. But if and when you do, you're going to appreciate what you hear tonight. And those of us who have hit that restaurant can testify to the authenticity of that barbecue in 2M's. My man Esaul is really putting it down. Eddie, ¿cómo está, hermano? How you doing, man? Here comes the judge. How's the week been for everybody, man? It's one more day. And for some of you, I know you probably got tomorrow off for a 4-day weekend. A few of you. Most of you probably not. But quite a few of you are probably off on Monday. So you just got to get tomorrow knocked out. And that weekend is here. Oh, my man Zilla, Darwin's in the house. What's happening, brother? How are you doing? All righty, another 30 seconds, man. What are you guys sipping on this evening? I'm telling you, my dude Ryan from Backline Smokers, man, hooked me up with this Treaty Oak old-fashioned cocktail. And thank God, what a coincidence he's on tonight. Darwin got me hooked on these old-fashions. This is absolutely delicious. Yeah, absolutely delicious. It's the easy way of making an old-fashioned. All right, folks, let's get moving, man. I want to welcome everybody once again to another episode with Mom and Papa Joe. Like I said earlier, we've got an awesome guest today, Pitmaster and owner of one of the best barbecue spots in Texas, no doubt, and many of you are going to be able to attest to that tonight. All right, let's see who else we got. Ed is here. Tomas, what's happening, buddy? How are you doing? Tito's and cran pineapple. I've never tried that, Eddie. I will have to make that happen. Yeah, I will have to make that happen. Tell him, Sleeper. Man, it doesn't cost you anything to hit that thumbs up button, man. Show us some love. So without further ado, folks, let me bring the man of the hour in. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Esaul Ramos to the now your mic is not muted. Dude, is it on your end? Can you hear me? Are you able to hear me? All right. I think everybody else can hear me. All right. I think it's yours.
Can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can't hear you.
Yeah. All right. Let's try it again. I'm gonna take you out and bring you back in. How about now?
Hello?
All
Can't
right.
hear you, brother.
Yeah. Adrian says he can hear us both, so it's on your end. All right. They can hear us both. I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. It check your equipment. All right, folks. Let us work through this, man, and we will get back to business shortly. Uh, Up until 5 minutes ago, we were good to go. Yeah, we were good to go. How about now?
Yeah, we can hear him.
All right, folks, not a problem. I know everybody enjoyed the big game last weekend. I know I did. Almost gave me a bit of a heart attack, but man, ultimately, my Rams managed to pull it out. All right, Esaul is back. Let's give it another shot.
Hey, brother. All right. Sorry about that.
All right, not a problem. You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right. We're good. We're good. So, folks, like I said earlier, man, let's welcome Esaul Ramos to the live stream. Pitmaster, and owner of, like I said, the hottest restaurant in San Antonio, man, barbecue wise, 2M Smokehouse. Welcome, brother. I
I
appreciate
appreciate
you
that. You're
hanging
too
out with
kind.
us, man.
I appreciate it. I
Hey,
appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the invite.
yes, sir. Hey, real quick, man. Just introduce yourself to the audience, man, and let these guys know a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. My name's Esaul Ramos. Me and my best friend started 2M Smokehouse about 5 years ago. Um, and I mean, just like a lot of us, I grew up around barbecue just like every weekend and stuff. Like my dad would always have parties and stuff over. So, growing up as a Texan, like you're exposed to that. And then I just kind of fell in love with it. Like my old man, he would get drunk after a while, like we all do at good cookouts and stuff. So stuff would start to get burned and stuff like that. So I remember one day I was just like, "Hey, do you mind if I cook?" And he was like, "Yeah." So it kind of just went on from there. Um, it kind of just turned into a hobby, into an infatuation, and then it's just turned into a career now. And we've been open 5 years now, San Antonio, and I mean it's been really really fun.
Man, that is awesome. And I think I've told you, I said I do not eat a lot of barbecue, man. But
Yeah,
when I'm ready for some barbecue, I'm definitely coming to see you guys.
I
We cook it
appreciate that.
so often that we really do not have a taste for it. But when we do get that taste for it, you're the man. 2M's is the spot. So I always like to ask this because a lot of pit masters, restaurant pit masters, they tend to have a little bit of a comp background, and I understand that you don't. Am I correct?
Yes, I have no comp background whatsoever. I have helped some friends in competitions, but other
Yeah.
than that, I have absolutely background in it whatsoever. What you guys do is a whole nother ballpark.
Oh, that's a definite. So now, as we look back, uh, is there any kind of culinary background, any type of formal training, kitchen, whether it be assistant or whatever, any type?
No, none at all. Like a lot of people who fall in love with food and things like that, they have like backstories. Like, I used to cook with my mom. I used to cook with my grandma. No, I used to eat their food, but I would not. I wouldn't. I was never in the kitchen. I was never into it. The first thing I learned how to cook was eggs, and that's what I would cook for my sisters when we get home from school. And that was about it. And then slowly, I kind of just got myself into it. And it's kind of funny because being a barbecue guy, at least for me, you're always wanting to push yourself and push yourself more. So you kind of start having to figure out like kind of what chefs know and things, so you kind of start dabbling into different foods and different flavors, and this pairs nicely with this and things like that. That's something that I found is really neat. I kind of just fell in love with it, I guess. But no, I have no training, none of that.
Awesome. So then it's safe to say you're pretty much self-taught.
Yes.
Yeah, and man, that is beautiful. I love that. And don't get me wrong, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being schooled in any art, but
Right.
but being self-taught, man, you may struggle a little bit more in the beginning, until you get your footing, while some schooling will help cut that learning curve. But
Yes.
being self-taught, probably comes with its own bit of satisfaction. Now,
It does.
where your menu is just so varied, so many things that one might not think of. Where does the inspiration for most of your menu come from? You said you didn't really watch or pay attention to your mom or grandma. Where does the inspiration come from?
I guess my up here, right? Like it's just I know what I want to do, and then I just apply it. So it's like I want to create this dish, but what would top it good? So I'll go about it there. Kind of like when I made my macaroni. It's like I've had a lot of homemade macaronis where it tastes too grainy. Where it tastes too grainy, like they make it house made, and it's really cool, and they go through a lot of process, but it's real grainy. It just doesn't have that like shitty mac and cheese taste. You know what I'm like? Like where it's just like, So I try to do that. Like it's like I just try and figure it. Like I know what I want it to taste like. My flavor, I get it from my mother. Like she was a salt queen, so flavor was always in food. So that's where I get kind of my flavor from. I just kind of try and recreate the same flavors that I grew up with and stuff, and then I try and impart that in each dish that I make. It's
Sweet.
pretty. I mean, it could be a shit show sometimes up here, but it's really cool.
Hey, let's see. Even so in competition, man. Even so in competition. And folks out there, man, just a huge coincidence. Last week, a few of us, CJ Bean, Mr. Bean, Tom Fuentes, Stupid Bear, and myself, along with our wives, we decided, hey, let's first Sunday of the month, 2M's does a authentic barbacoa. I'm telling you, and it's only one Sunday of the month, the first Sunday of the month. So Mama had never been there. I said, man, Mama, I'm gonna take you. Call up a couple of the fellas, and we decide to go hang out at 2M's. Lo and behold, we show up at 2M's. You've got Tony, you've got Eddie, you've got a couple of other guys already there, and it was something that if we had tried to plan it, it probably would not have worked out the way it did. And it was just beautiful. Roy was there. I mean, it was just beautiful. We got to hang out with a couple of buddies, all morning at 2M, man, eating good food. So Mama is speaking of a dessert, and I can't remember what that dessert was called. Purple,
It was
the purple
ube.
nurple, the purple nurple. What, what was that dessert called?
It was called it's a ube cheesecake. So ube is
cheesecake.
yeah. So ube is it's a Filipino yam.
And folks, this is what I'm talking about when I said that the 2Ms is really thinking outside the box, man. They're doing things that you're not going to find anywhere else. It's a must stop if you get anywhere near San Antonio. It's a must stop. It was an absolutely beautiful dessert. All right.
Yeah, that's all. That's all the wife. I can't take credit for that.
That was on the wife. I have a habit, man, on this stream. I get the yapping and I forget about the chat. So I don't want to fall too far behind in the chat, man. Let me see what some of my boys are saying here. Rick says, chilling with Mom and Papa Joe. San Antonio is known as the home of the Alamo. Now it's known as the home of 2M Smokehouse. That's what I'm talking about right there, Rick.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That is what I'm talking about. That is what Mo says. Flavor profiles are important.
The most.
Now, we can all set out, man, try to set out, especially in competitions. We try to go out and create a flavor profile, which to me could have you chasing your tail. We were fortunate, and I say we, Mom and Papa Joe, we were fortunate in competition that we accidentally stumbled on our flavor profile. We didn't set out to create one thing. I know I wanted to be sweet, salty, heat, savory. But how you go about getting that, I don't know. Nobody knows. Just trial and error. And finally, you find something that the people like.
I agree.
As 5 years ago, as you started working on a menu, did you already have an idea of what you wanted your brisket to taste like, what you wanted your ribs to taste like? Did you go to other restaurants, successful restaurants, and taste their stuff to give yourself an idea?
So like most people, I started off cooking and stuff, and my favorite ingredient is salt. That's my favorite ingredient.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So for me, I always knew that I wanted a high salt content flavor profile. Didn't really care about heat that much because I knew I was going to get a little bit of heat through the black pepper. So,
folks, you got to excuse me. That's Mama and Trooper, the dog, fighting. All right, Trooper's got something that belongs to Mama. So the growl in your hand is not my stomach, nor my butt. That's those two fighting. All right, so let's continue, bro. Sorry about that.
You're good, man. You're good. I got a couple myself. They might act up here soon. But yeah, so I knew I wanted that. So I just went ahead and I just played with a lot of flavor profiles that were just high in sodium and high in salt. So I just went ahead and I did that. I think it took me maybe 2 months.
Yeah.
To really dial it in, because I knew, like, I liked it when I first got it, but I was like, I know we can fine tune this. We can make this a little bit better. And just like you guys, it just consumes you for a good while, and it takes over your life. And you're just like, all right, I'm focusing on this. I'm just focusing on this. But as far as tasting, as far as going around and stuff like that, yeah, of course, one of the first barbecue joints, well, the first barbecue joint I ever went to outside of San Antonio was Style Switch. And first time I ever had that, it was great. I actually fell in love with their turkey. They're the reasons that I try so hard to have such great turkey. But I had their brisket, and it was really good, but it was more peppery. So I was like, okay, I want to take that same pepper concept, but I want to add more salt to it. And then, you start going to other places and you're like, oh, okay, like the salt's there, or this isn't there, that's not there. And then that's kind of where I get my range from.
It is absolutely awesome, man. Eddie, yes, we did have a good time, man, for your birthday. That was pretty
What's
special.
up, Eddie?
Yeah, that was pretty special. All right, my man Lance wants to know what's the M for? What's the 2M?
Yeah, it's a. If you think it stands for two Mexicans, you are absolutely not right. But at first, it was kind of funny. So 2M is actually it stands for our grandparents. It's my grandparents, Marquez, and Joe's grandparents, Melig. So that's where the 2M's come from.
Okay.
But when we made it, we started joking around about it. And I remember one time I was cutting and it finally happened. Like somebody came up to us and they were like, "What does 2M stand for?" And I was like, "What do you think it stands for?" And they were like, "Two Mexicans." And I was like, "That's so good." I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah, I like it. Yeah,
I'll buy it."
I'll wear the t-shirt. Yeah, I will wear the t-shirt. What's happening, Darnell? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. And I see the Starving Pig Barbecue is up and running, Darnell. Up and running. Can't wait to check out some of those videos, baby. Can't wait to check out some of those videos. All right, let me run through here. John, salt and pepper, man. Salt, pepper, fire. What's happening? How you doing? Eddie says that purple cake was a slice of heaven. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
I'll let the wife know.
Yeah. 2M's is only open Monday through Sundays.
Thursday through Sunday.
Not Monday, Thursdays. My bad. Thursdays through through
You're gonna get me some 1-stars.
Yeah. So tell the folks out there, Esaul, what does a normal work week look like? You know, when do you start up? When does things shut down?
So for me, now, since we lost some people, it used to be around 5 a.m. in the morning, my day would start, but now it's more like, depending on what I got going on that morning and how severe it is, you'll catch me there anytime between midnight and 4 a.m. in the morning. So between that time, my day would start. I really don't know, like, I don't have set hours for each day. It's kind of just like at the end of the day, I go home and I'm like, okay, this is what time I got to get there. So then, and then that's the range that I give myself. My day starts around anywhere from midnight to 4 a.m. And I got home today. Well, I rushed over here, so I got over here at like 7:30. But usually we'll get out of work. We'll have briskets done and in the warmer box anywhere from 7 p.m. to at the latest 10 o'clock at night. So my day can consist of, we'll just say 4 a.m. in the morning to either 7 or 10 o'clock at night. And that's Wednesday through Saturday. Sunday, I'll get there a little later, maybe around 5 or 6, and then go home around 5 o'clock.
And you heard us all talk about brisket, because that is the king of meats. In Texas barbecue, it takes the longest. That's the meat that everybody is going to judge you on. If your brisket is not hidden, your restaurant is not hidden. And I'll tell you, I don't know how many times now I've been to 2M, man. And we all know you can go to your favorite barbecue restaurant, and every now and again, for whatever reasons, this wasn't the way it was the last time. I don't know, maybe the cook's on vacation, the head cook, or whatever the case might be. Or you go to a restaurant the first time, and the food isn't all that. But I'm here to tell you that if I've been there 10 times, every single one of those 10 times, man, the food has been as good as the first. And I am a brisket man when I go to a restaurant. And all the entire audience already knows how I feel about turkey. You can keep that turkey. I don't care whose turkey it is. I'm not a turkey fan. But brisket, man, I'm gonna judge you on brisket. I'm gonna judge you on ribs. Sausage, so I'm not the biggest sausage fan either. But brisket and ribs, absolutely. And I will tell you, those two things, man, are always on point. There's never been any deviation from what I expect. So, man, I am just really, really thrilled to be able to say that to the folks.
Thank you
Now,
so much for that, CJ.
one of the hardest things I know is keeping trained employees. How has that been working out for you, man, especially in this period of COVID?
Terrible.
He
Well,
said,
it's kind of funny because we were just talking about brisket and about consistency and stuff, and that's where consistency kind of leaves, right? Because it's like you as an owner, you as only one person can only do so much, right? And you're
yeah,
gonna need help
absolutely.
eventually. Problem is, you're gonna need the right help, and that's where it gets tough because it's like you came 10 times in a row and it was great because I was cooking it, but then you hand it off to somebody else and it's like, hey man, it's not hitting the same. And that's where it gets tough in barbecue. See,
Yeah.
any other restaurant, make a burger, steakhouse, anything. I'm not
Follow
discrediting
these
it.
steps. Yeah, follow these
Totally
steps.
different.
Yeah.
Totally different. You know what I mean? I mean, what we do is very primitive and it requires a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of detail, and a lot of love, really. And if you're not going to have time for any of that, then you shouldn't be doing it. And
Dude,
that's where it gets tough.
Beautifully said, man. Beautifully said. I mean, it starts with the trimming. You know, it starts with the trimming. And I stood there for 5 minutes while the young man, I don't even remember his name, was out back in the pit area trimming briskets, and I watched him. I didn't introduce myself or anything. So he started explaining to me about trimming briskets, and I was like, all right, I can, I see that. And he knew what he was talking about. You know, I still didn't let him know that I knew a little something about brisket. But yeah, but I let him know. I said, all right, man, good job. And he was trimming a beautiful brisket. And again, that's where it starts. You know, I like to tell people, especially when you're cooking for the masses, man, how important it is to try to get all your briskets trimmed and shaped almost to the same size, the same consistency. That way they cook at similar rates and so forth. And man, he was getting all that done. Yeah, he was getting all that done. Now, have you ever just brought anybody in without, and I hate to say the term, without skill, not skills, but without real restaurant barbecue restaurant experience, where you have to train them from the ground up?
Yes. So those are really the only people I get. Real quick though, to when you were talking about it starts with the trimming, it's really funny you say that because at 2M, I hold everybody accountable and I make each of them hold each other accountable. So I always tell the trimmer, I go, it's tough. He goes, yeah, because it's repetitive. It sucks. I go, I know. Yeah. I go, what you do is the foundation. I said, you see this cutter over here in the front? I said, this cutter over here that doesn't have to trim the briskets that you do or come in at the time or get all bloody and all this stuff. I said, this cutter in here, he can fuck up your brisket or make it better.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. Yeah,
I said, so it starts with you and it ends with him. I said, so don't ever feel like you can't go in there and see what he's doing to those briskets.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I try and train them all up so that they understand it starts with this. Like every step is important. That's what I think people don't really grasp about briskets is every step is important. It's not just throwing meat on fire, right? Because if that was the case, we would all do it, right? But it's not. But anyways, that I wanted to talk about that.
Man, nah, that's truth right there, man. That is truth. Now, are you a big fan of cross training, so to speak? Everybody can do that other person's job. How often do you allow them to switch duties?
For a minute there, I thought you said CrossFit. I was like, come on, CJ. But yes, it's funny because I always tell them that. I go, hey, just because I hired you for this doesn't mean this is the only thing you're going to be doing. Like everybody here does everything because we're such a small staff. So it's like I need to cross train everybody.
Yeah.
For the most part, everybody knows how to do everything except for briskets and cutting. Those are always two positions that I'm very
Oh yeah. Oh,
tedious
no
about, and
doubt.
I take
Yeah.
it just takes more time. It's like
Yeah.
the person has to present himself as opposed to you finding somebody. Really, that's kind of how it
Yeah.
happens.
Yes. Totally correct, man. All right, let me get back in here, man, and see where we are. Small town says he has not been to 2M in a little bit. Do y'all have
Small town.
elote now? You've had your version of elote in the past in the cup.
Yes.
Haven't you?
I think when Small Town came, I do remember Small Town. I think when Small Town came, I didn't have it yet on the menu. But yes,
All
I
right.
do have it now.
Yes, sir. Let's see. Playing catch up as usual, man.
That's the name of the
Mr.
game.
Bean. Yeah, Mr. Bean. I'll tell you, after Mr. Bean got a hold of that purple cake, his lips were purple, looked like he had been doing something to Barney. But yeah,
Hey, you know the Bean.
yeah, the Bean. Mose, you definitely need to, man. You come, give me a holler, bro. We'll hang
Come on
out.
down.
Yeah, we will hang out. Let's see. Playing catch up. The Ube. Playing catch up. Just give me a couple of seconds here, folks, before we get back into this thing. All right.
Darwin had a good one.
All right. I missed Darwin's. What did Darwin ask?
He says, I know profit margin on barbecue are slim. How are you dealing with the rising cost of meat, and how are you keeping up?
Oh, my computer is slow, man.
And then Tom had a good one. Also.
Yeah, my computer is slow. All right. So I've got my notes here, man, with some questions. Food costs. We all know that, man, right now, meat costs are ridiculous. You know, I go to the restaurant, man. I am not worried so much about what things cost. I know exactly the period we're in. But how is this affecting you? What have you had to do to your menu prices? Have you gotten any type of feedback from your customers, referencing what they're paying?
Yeah. I mean, across the board, meat prices are not where we want them to be. And I mean, we've had to go up in price,
Yeah, no
which
doubt.
we did not want to do. I mean, nobody really does, but these are just things that happen. But we didn't expect to go up so high so quickly. And it's funny because we're still not that high. Like, we're high, but we're still not that high.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Although I've always been a firm believer that before COVID, barbecue should have been $32 a pound, regardless. But that's just me, though. But yeah, I mean, it's what are we doing to combat it? It's really a week to week kind of thing. Every week it kind of changes, so we kind of just go based off of that. There's a range that we keep. Like, if brisket passes this, then yeah, we're definitely going to start losing really, really bad. If brisket passes this, then we'll have to go up to this, so things like that. As long as that doesn't happen, we're good. But I mean, if it does happen, just like everything else, you just have to adjust. You got to go up. As far as customers, nobody's really complained. I mean, I'm pretty sure some people don't like it, but to us, nobody has said anything.
And there are some people, man, that I just will not understand that you are paying so much more, and a lot of people just don't understand, the cost of cooking a restaurant brisket. The loss from trimming, the loss from cooking, versus that finished product. How little that finished product is. So what you got to charge to be able to make a bit of a profit, they just don't get that. You know, they see, okay, this is an 18-pound brisket. You've got 18 pounds of briskets to sell. And
Right.
that's not even close to the truth.
Not even close.
You paid for 18 pounds, right? But you may end up with 8 pounds, if that. You know, you may end up with 8 pounds.
I mean, CJ, put all that aside, right? Okay, trim, you got waste, you got shrinkage, you got trim, you got that. Okay, screw all that. We in the barbecue business burn money for a living. I mean, literally, that's exactly what wood is. The same wood that we get charged and we pay X amount of money for, that wood, we pay money, we get that wood, and we goes right into the fire. I mean, I'd rather be throwing dollar bills in there. You know what I mean? It's the exact same thing. And that's another thing that I tell people, like, we don't get that back. That's gone. You know what I mean? Like, maybe somewhere we can make it back, but for the most part, we burn money.
Yeah. Now, at the height of the pandemic, I understand I did not come through the restaurant during that period. I understand you were doing the carryout, the drive-through.
Yes.
How did that work out?
So the pandemic hit. I remember I looked at Joe. That's another thing. You know what I mean? Like the pandemic hit and people just, it's not easy to just shut down your business and just be able to bring it back up whenever it's time to bring stuff back up. So we knew that we weren't going to close, that we couldn't close. There was no way. So we just decided to do curbside and drive-through. Thankfully, the front of our restaurant is a pretty good sized parking lot. It's a pretty good stretch. So we just made 2 lines. And if the pandemic happened on a Tuesday, we were right back at it on that Thursday. And in the beginning, it was really, really nice. It was really scary at first because we're used to tourism. We're a certain amount of our sales go to tourism. So I was like, well, that's done. So we're gonna have to rely solely 100% on San Antonio. And they came, man. They came and they kept supporting us throughout the pandemic and stuff. And then it got slow. And then we opened up. Finally, we were able to open back up and stuff. And we were just holding off for a while because we were doing a lot of renovations inside the restaurant. And I'm not gonna lie, man. And it got kind of nice. It got really nice. Yeah. It was. You don't have all the chaos. The front of the restaurant was completely different. We had boxes. We had a bunch of dry goods and packaged goods. But from that we learned once we went back to opening up, we knew that we weren't going to get rid of curbside anymore. So we've kept that this whole entire time, along with you could text in your order and things like that. So that's been really cool because there's some people that wanted us to keep that. So I didn't mind.
Move.
Absolutely.
Yeah, smart move, man. Tom Fuentes says, I saw you hanging out. You hung out with us for a good little while. How long did it take you to trust your guys to keep the restaurants going? How long did it take you before you felt comfortable enough to make that happen? And I saw that without giving it much thought last Sunday because, in the past, when we have come into the restaurant, man, you were still in the back making things happen. And Sunday, you were able to spend some time with us out back, man.
Yeah.
Sit back, relax, have a good time. It took a little while for you to reach that point of comfort. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So it's funny. You never, if you love what you do, you never want to let it go, right?
Yeah.
But in order to grow your business and grow your brand, you have to. So that's kind of where it was. I trained up my guy for about a year, almost a year and a half before I left the restaurant. And then as far as trimmers go, sausage makers, it's a process. Like we'll hire them on, and then we have them doing that, and we kind of just guide them and watch them until they start getting it, but not just knowing how to do it. Like anybody can make sausages, right? But why are you making it? Why are you doing it like this? Why do we put this? Why do we do this? Why do we do that? I need them to understand that as well. And once they understand the whole entire thing, not just what they're doing, but why it is that they're doing what they're doing, then that's time when you let them by yourself.
Dude, that's got to be an awesome feeling, man, where you can reach that point where you can step away for half an hour, step away for an hour, knowing that things are going to be handled properly. And I think that would be the objective of every single owner / manager of any type of restaurant. Because
It's
man,
hard,
barbecue, barbecue restaurants matter 24/7. It's hard for the pitmaster to take a vacation. Hard for the pitmaster to go away, miss a day, man. So
right.
I'm glad to see that you're somewhere in that comfort level. Let's
I
see.
appreciate
Buzz says it's hard for me to walk into a barbecue restaurant and judge fairly because of being a barbecue guy. Yet I try to be honest and forthgoing about the food, and I hate to be a critic, but it's hard not to compare. Buzz, I'll let Esaul handle this one first before I give my little take on that.
We're always it's what we do for a living. You know what I mean? It's what we love. It's what we're about. So anytime I go to a barbecue joint, I'm always gonna eat barbecue, and something's always gonna pop into my head. Where I'm at now with this stuff is that if that guy's out there grinding, that guy's out there doing barbecue the way he's supposed to, the way he knows how. Okay, because not everybody knows how to cook like me, like you, like this guy, like that guy.
Yeah.
How he knows how. If he's out there grinding, I mean, if he's out there grinding, then that's fucking barbecue. Like, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, that guy's still out there doing what a lot of us don't want to do, putting in that same work. And I get that it's hard to judge it. I mean, it's hard not to judge. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying at the end of the day, just remember what we're all going through and what we're all doing and how we were taught to do things.
Yes. Yeah. Man, I can totally appreciate your sentiment. I am also of the belief, man, that I go into a barbecue establishment and it's not what I expected on that first day. I'll write it off. I will give them a second opportunity. Now, if I come back a second time, man, and it's still off, then I might walk away saying, you know what, all right, I'm not going to frequent this establishment. But being a barbecue guy, like you said, I know what it takes, man, to put your sweat and tears into opening up that restaurant every morning, every mid-morning for the folks. I'm going to be the last person to run to Yelp or whatever the heck it's called and write a negative comment or whatnot. I might walk away and leave it. And that is my exact sentiment as I start watching YouTube videos. As a content creator, I haven't been at it very long, but as a content creator, I understand what goes into making a YouTube video, and it's a lot of work. So if I watch a video and I'm like, oh, this dude really screwed up this piece of meat or whatever, about whatever, I can walk away from that video without a comment, without a thumbs down. Because I know he put his effort into it. I gave him a view. You know what I'm saying? I gave him a view. Same thing. I come to that restaurant. All right, I supported that restaurant for 2 days, whatever the case might be. But I'm definitely not going to try to step on their necks because I'm not getting anything out of that, nor are they. So I like your thought, Buzz. Let's see. Keep moving. Buzz, yeah, you can appreciate good barbecue. Buzz, you ever get to Texas, man, you're gonna get some of the best. Yeah, you're
Yes, you
gonna
are.
get some of the best. Yeah, there's no doubt. My man Trumpet says, if you're not buying the cheapest ones out there, most people know the difference. We could in this chat, but lots of people there love brisket, no matter the cut. Oh, no doubt, man. When Dick's first opened in my local area, I was like, man, let me go see what the hoopla is all about. And I walked into Dick's and I was like, average. I could leave it. I could take it or leave it. I've never been back since, but I've never bad-mouthed Dick's. There's some people who can really, really appreciate that and they love Dick's, and that is fine. But again, as a barbecue guy, man, I think we have a better knowledge of what XYZ is supposed to look like, taste like, smell like, and all those things go into, the perfect piece of barbecue. And so it's hard for us not to judge it that way. But even though we judge it that way, does not mean we have to make our judgment public to put a place on blast. And that's the last thing anybody should do.
I agree.
My man,
and I'm like you, man. I judge pretty harshly too when I go to places. In my mind.
Yeah. No, we're good. Mama was whispering something to me, and I turned to look at her.
Did they sell that cake whole?
Mama wants to know, do you sell that cake whole?
Do what? Do we sell the cake whole?
The cake whole, the whole Igbo cake or Igbo cake.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah.
Mama, we buy.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
let us know a couple of days in advance.
Yeah.
We'll have it for you.
Will do. My man TPC, a previous chef, man, a ex-chef. Not ex, because he's still chefing as we speak. All right, but a previous restaurant chef, lots of experience, lots of knowledge. Being a former chef, I'm never critical until after service. Then I know the quality. I never compared theirs to mine, and that's one of the smartest moves, man. Yeah. You can make. This is what mine tastes like, but this should not be what everybody else's tastes like. If I want to eat my barbecue, I might as well stay at home and eat mine. I go out because I don't want to eat my barbecue.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Most of us don't.
Yeah. Trumpet. CJ, what you got on the curry shrimp and crab, homie? Bruh. Hey, I'm going to save this one till next week. I'm dropping a little something tomorrow. So be on the lookout. But come Tuesday, you speak of shrimp and crab, bruh. Just be aware. Shrimp, crab, grits, boom. Enough said. I'm gonna keep this train moving.
That'll be good.
Yes. Madwood, my man Terry. Looks like another stop while we're in Austin. Terry, you make this happen. Give me a heads up, and we will make it happen together, man. Yeah, we will make it happen together. Let's see. Hey, salt and pepper. Don't instigate that dude, man. Yeah, that dude, he's got enough problems. Joe says, send all the trips. Joe's the king of sausage, and I mean that in a good way. Joe makes some awesome sausage. I watch those sausage videos, and I'm like, man, that is a lot of work, but Joe makes it happen. Smoking Joe.
I got to check out his videos.
Yeah, man, he makes some awesome sausage. Smoking Joe.
That's a hell of a process, man.
Somebody had asked, what kind of pit is he cooking on?
All right, all right, I'll find that one. Smoking Joe also asked that he's getting ready to start a barbecue food trailer soon. Any advice you could give him besides don't do it? And dude, that is one of my questions that I was going to get to in a little bit.
It's funny because I always say don't do it. My best advice if you're going to do this, if this is what you want to do and this is what you're going to, this is it, do not have a plan B. If this is your plan A, you're going to give it all you got. Not only that, but also start building a brand. If people don't know you in this circle, then they need to know you. Like, I always get people that come to me and they'll be like, I'm thinking about quitting my job. I tell them, I go, that's a big step. And they'll say, what do you think? And I say, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
How many people know who you are? I don't say that in a mean way. I say that when you open that first weekend, who's going to be there because they know that you're going to be there? Because you've been building this brand. If you haven't been doing that, then no one's going to know you're there, obviously. Look, man, you want to open up a food truck, you go for it. You go for it, man. It's going to suck because a food truck sucks, but
yeah,
it's just gray water and it's tiny and there's never enough room, but I'm all for it, man. And I think you should do it, and I think you should give it all you got. But if you're going to have a plan B, if you're going to have something to fall back on, don't even do it. Don't even do it. Because if this is what you really want to do, this is what you really want to be about, then give it all you got, man. And that's all you, and that's my best advice for you. Don't have a plan B and brand yourself.
Boom. Love it. Joe, Smoking Joe. That's 2 dozen sausages, a dozen for Esaul and a dozen for me. All right. I will be sending you addresses for that tidbit of information right there, bro. For that tidbit of information right there. And dude, my next question was going to be tips for an aspiring restaurateur. Somebody looking to start a restaurant, not a food truck. Again, and I can see where that same point you just made about Joe's and his food truck question, I can see that same point being the primary response to opening a brick and mortar. I mean, there's so much more that goes into a brick and mortar, but I can see that brand being so important.
So the way it happened with us is in the beginning, we wanted to do a food truck. It just seemed more feasible. It just seemed more attainable. But then breaking it down, here in San Antonio, there wasn't that many food parks at the time. We were very limited on that. We had to build another trailer for the barbecue pit. So that's 2 trailers that you have to haul around now. That's 2 payments that you have to make at every single food truck park that you go to. And if you want to not park at a food truck park, then you have to find a place that's big enough to house both of those things. So that's why we ended up going with the brick and mortar. How do we do it? So in the beginning, we went to quite a couple brick and mortars, and a lot of people kept asking us, like, what's your business plan? What's this? Well, I don't know anything about that. I wasn't a business savvy person or anything like that. I'm just a guy that wants to cook barbecue. I just want to pay you money and rent your building, and you let me pay. And it really is as simple as that. I found our restaurant on Craigslist. Like, I went on Craigslist and I found it, and the rent was something that we could afford. Okay, that's very important, obviously. Location is very important. We have a terrible location, right? We're on the outskirts of town. We're a destination. You have to want to come to us in order to come to us. You have to want to. So thankfully for me, I was able to go and build somewhat of a brand and build somewhat of a name. So when we did open up, at least a good amount of people knew that we were going to be able to open up. So if you don't have that, once again, location is very important. Somewhere where there's a lot of people, somewhere where there's a lot of traffic, and somewhere where it's really needed.
But now let me interrupt you. But location versus leasing versus rent, because those two, they play against each other. You said how you thought your rent was fairly affordable. But it's on the outside. Meanwhile,
right,
something on the inside, that rent creeps up.
Very, very true. Something I have.
You've got to weigh. Yeah.
Yes, you're completely right. Something I have learned though is give it a shot. Like, keep calling, keep asking around. If you're in if there's a certain area that you want, believe it or not, there might be somebody that has a rent that you're looking for. But you are right. the majority of the times you're going to want to come in to where it is that you want to be. It is going to cost you more. It is. But as far as another thing too, if you ever get a restaurant that was a previous restaurant before, you could just tag on to their certificate
Health
of
code?
occupancy.
Okay.
Right. So instead of having to go through the whole entire process of getting like 13 health inspectors because you're using somebody else's that's already established, it's already there, you're only going to get like 3.
Yeah. All
Okay,
right,
so
good point. Great info.
So that's something you guys should look for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just look for those. Don't do anything unless you're prepared or you've really discussed. Like when me and Joe started 2M, we literally looked at each other and we said, "Can we live off of $300 a month? $300 a month." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's what you got to be asking yourself.
Wow, dude. And man, I can appreciate, man, the sacrifice that one has to make, man, in those first whatever amount of years, man, because it's going to be very difficult in the beginning. But once you get over that hump to a little degree, man, and things get a little easier, you start seeing a little bit of loose change that remains in your pocket. You start seeing more customers, man. It's got to be a great feeling, I don't know that anybody ever feels like, all right, we've got this. Our restaurant is set. We can relax now, because if you ever feel you've got things on lock, that's the beginning of the end.
Yep, I agree.
If you ever stop looking to improve, to get better, to tighten up that menu, man, then it's just the beginning of the end. So I know exactly where you're going, folks. Real quick, man. Next Thursday, we're gonna attempt once again to live stream from the Houston Livestock Rodeo Show. Right now, I've got 2 guests on lock. I've got Uncle Steve as well as Double D, Daddy Dutch. We're going to see who else we can get on. So make sure you tune in next Thursday at the same time, and we're going to try to have some more great conversation. Uncle Steve, Daddy Dutch, thank you guys for hanging out with us next Thursday, man, in advance. All right, my man Kevin Knight says, good luck in Houston. I appreciate that, Kev. I appreciate that. Come on, CJ Bean, play nice, man. You know I got your back. Your little purple back. Ruby, Eddie says Ruby lets him run the shop solo on it's on Sundays when it's closed. That's the only time you get to run the shop. Yeah, that's the only time you get to run the shop, on Sunday when it's closed. Eddie's asking who will be in Houston. He'll be out there helping Team Mexico. Dude, I'm gonna spend some time with Raza. I'm gonna spend some time with Raza at the Houston Livestock. My man Rivas, Luis, we're gonna hang out. I hope you got some cabrito or something out there, because
I'm sure you will.
Yeah, I'm ready to do it. Yeah, I'm ready to do it. Let's see. Uncle Steve, Mama will be there. Uncle Steve, Mama will be there, man. So you will definitely get to meet Mama. Yeah, you will definitely get to meet Mama. Let's see. All right, man, I usually end up going over 2 or 3 minutes past an hour. But one of the last questions, that's all I want to ask, man. While I was there last Sunday, I noticed some major improvements, man. You've got an outside seating area that's just absolutely beautiful, man. You've got planters, you've got other things going. What can we expect outside of that? Besides that, what can we expect to see, in the next year, in the next 2 years from 2Ms?
Yeah. So we got We have a food truck that we bought like, I don't know, 3 years ago, maybe. We're gonna do something with that. As far as the outside is concerned, we still have a lot to do out there. There's still some stuff we want to do. We want to have like maybe movie nights. We want to bring in dinner eventually, just Friday and Saturday evenings. And then what else? Oh, we have that building next door too. So we have a good little bit of patch of land right there. So we wanna do some other stuff there. Maybe bring in some other food trucks or something. We want to definitely do maybe a little general store and a bakery next door, something like that. But for the most part, just really working on 2M, trying to take that to the next, trying to take that to the next stage of that, and then just working on other things down the pipeline, really. And then really just trying to figure out other things to supplement other things. I mean, barbecue's great and all, but
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
it
No,
should
I
just be a
totally
stepping
agree.
stone to something better.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. Dude, the sky's
And-
the limit, man. The
Yeah.
sky's the limit. I appreciate what you guys do, man. I love the vision that you guys have, the vision that it took to get you to this point. I can really appreciate that, man. And I wish you guys nothing but the best, man. And I will keep coming back, man. I will
I really,
keep
really
coming
appreciate
back.
that.
I absolutely will. Don't go anywhere, man. Let me run through this chat and see what Buzz. You my man. All right, Buzz. I think we're cut from the same cloth, man. I would never down anyone for their food because it's all made with love and inspiration. So I absolutely agree. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Oh, here's a great question, my man Kevin Knight. How long did it take you to establish the daily quantities? I mean, how often? How often do you have? And I always come back to brisket. How often do you have brisket left over?
Um, these days it varies. So, at the most, maybe five
Yeah. All right.
sometimes. And then so what happens with those is we'll go ahead and pull them the next morning and we'll cut them up and we kind of just gauge them. And if they're right where we need them to be, then we'll go ahead and serve them. If they're not, then we chop them.
Yeah. Now, have you ever thought about offering them whole?
Yeah, so we're slowly trying to get into Gold Belly to be able to ship nationwide,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then on top of that, I want to get a refrigerator so to put right in the front where you walk in, and there'll be vacuum sealed frozen meats there, so then you can just grab and go.
Yeah, because dude, I have vacuum sealed briskets, man, and reheated properly using warm water. And dude, it comes out
It will
perfectly
blow
every
your
single
mind.
time.
It will
Yeah,
blow your mind.
yeah. People cannot tell that this used to be frozen.
Nope.
So I see absolutely no reason for those briskets not to get you a significant return.
I agree.
Those leftover brisket if you treat them right. Yeah,
I agree. Yes, sir.
yeah. But on a daily basis, how many briskets are you cooking? And everything for me, barbecue restaurant, man, revolves around briskets. So that's why I'm asking these brisket questions.
Yeah. So, it took us, well, still to this day, it's kind of tough, especially now after COVID. It kind of made everything a little wonky. So back then we were able to get a handle on things like, all right, Thursdays are usually like this, Fridays are like this, Saturdays are like this. Now it's like I can have an amazing Thursday and I can have a dead Saturday.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's kind of weird. But here these days we're doing 20 on Thursday, 30 Friday, 30 Saturday, and 25 on Sunday.
Okay, sweet. All right. Mama wants to know, do y'all cater?
Yes, we do. Just go ahead and email us for all that stuff.
Sweet, sweet. All right. Yeah, Mr. Bean, to get that purple cake. when people come out from out of town and ask me where to go for barbecue, I always tell them two M's, W White. Get
Thank
their
you very much,
purple
Mr.
cake.
Bean.
Yeah. I know the feeling, Buzz. I know that feeling. My man Darnell, Starving Pig, wants to know, what's your top 5 struggles being a restaurateur? Give us 3.
Sales. Actually, just food cost, staffing, maintenance.
What was the last one?
You say that third one was maintenance?
Maintenance. Yeah, maintenance. You'd be surprised how much. Yeah, I mean, just refrigerators going down because, so not everything is brand new, right? I should say equipment, really. Instead of saying maintenance, I should just say equipment.
Yeah.
If you're not in the restaurant business, go to a restaurant store and just look at the prices on this equipment.
I've been there. Yeah,
we're on the wrong side of this business.
Yeah, because I've seen and heard so much of the electrical warmers. That you can bring down to 150 or whatever the case might be, unlike a home oven. And I said, man, I would love to play with that just to see what I can get out of it. And I've just looked at some of the small ones, and I'm like, it's not that important. Yeah, it's not that important for that price. So no, I have not. So restaurant equipment is expensive.
I'm always looking for deals. So if I come across a ridiculous deal, I'll let you know.
Yeah, my man. I am in the market, man. Yeah, I'm in the market. Folks, if you haven't yet, check out Smoking Joe's. Thank you, Stephen. Oaxaca cheese sausage. And man, it's funny that Eddie put this word up there. I've got plans. I had plans for I was gonna do a nacho short video. And the recipe I chose asked for this Oaxaca cheese. So I go to our Walmart and I'm looking for Oaxaca cheese. I didn't know how to pronounce the word. So I'm looking at this Oaxaca, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. So there was a female in one of the aisles. She appeared to be Hispanic. I don't know of what origin. So I said, ma'am, do you speak Spanish? She said, yes. I said, how do you pronounce this word? And I showed her the cheese. She said, Oaxaca. And I was like, thank you. I walked away, and I'm like, that still doesn't sound right. Yeah. They had another ingredient that Walmart did not have, so I go to H-E-B. I've already got the cheese. I've already got the Oaxaca cheese, so I don't need to pick up any more. But I had my shopping list on a piece of paper, so I stopped another man, and this man was Mexican. Now, he might have been American Mexican, but he wasn't Mexican. All right, so I asked him, and he said, he said, that's Oaxaca. And I'm like, man, if that was the word, then I could have said that. So I still did not feel right. I get home and I hit up Stupid Bear. Yeah, I hit up Tom Fuentes. I said, dude, how do you pronounce the word? And he tells me Oaxaca. And I was like, man, I knew there had to be something to it. So if I'd have listened to either one of those two individuals, I'd have made my video and I would have sounded like an absolute clown talking about Oaxaca, right? So that video is still to be made and it's coming, but I've got the cheese in the refrigerator as we speak.
I love how they threw those names down so confidently too.
Yeah, oh dude, if I didn't have just a little bit of Spanish knowledge in my background, yeah, I would have fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. But something just did not sound right. But Tom Fuentes hooked me up. Yeah.
Thank God for Tom.
All right, so we're moving along, man. I'm getting ready to close this out. My man Joe my man Smoking Joe. Failure is not an option. He absolutely loved your tips. Big shout out, Joe.
Thank you.
How far is home from the restaurant?
Mama wants to know, how far do you live from the restaurant, Esaul?
15 minutes, no traffic, 20 minutes traffic.
All right, sweet. That's not bad.
Not
Dude,
bad.
At some point, man, you and I are gonna do a live one of those nights, one of those working nights.
Okay.
From the shop.
Yeah, I'm
You
down
know
with
what I'm
that.
talking
Let me
about?
know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right, we'll make that happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll do a live from the shop one Thursday night, man. Yeah. Tony says, I remember meeting you and Joe in Lytle, Texas by a church. All right, great being able to see 2M from the beginning. Hey, Tony is my man. All right. Him and Eddie, man, they're a couple of awesome guys.
Tony, I'm not laughing at you, brother. But you know what? It's funny because that is true. Me and Joe started. We started in Lido, and right before our very first pop up, this man just comes walking up, and I had no idea who this man was, and I was like, I do not know who this man is. And he came up and he talked to us, and he gave us some good advice, and then he left. That man was Tony, and later on, I ended up meeting him, and now he's a good buddy of mine. But yeah, that's how we met Tony. He's the same guy he is now is the same person I met then. Salt of the earth. Ooh, CJ, you froze. Or maybe I froze.
Is it bad?
Oh, there you are.
All right, folks, sorry about that. We lost connection for a little bit for some reason. Maybe that's the internet telling us to shut this thing down. Where were we? You were talking about meeting Tony.
Oh yeah, it was just that, and he just walked up, and I remember he gave us some advice, and then he shut the shit with us for a minute, and then he left. I believe his wife was in the car at the time.
Yeah. All right, Eddie, I'm gonna learn the words of that song. Mama's been playing that video, and every time she plays that video, I kind of feel left out. So I did not appreciate that, and I will make sure to make that happen in the future. All right, let's see. If you want to have a comedy show, you know who to invite. Mr. Bean, if I see one thumbs down, man, it's gonna be some furniture movement the next time I see you. But hey, somebody a little jelly. Hey, Buzz, you and I will hook up, man, and we'll talk. We'll make something happen, baby. We'll make something happen. Hey, folks, we're a couple of minutes over. We're an hour and 13 minutes, man. I want to thank all of you guys for hanging out with Mama and Papa Joe once again. I especially want to thank Esaul, man, for hanging out. He and I are going to do this again, and hopefully we're doing it from the shop at some point in the very near future. Be on the lookout for a video we're dropping tomorrow. We're dropping probably another one on Tuesday or Wednesday before we head to Houston. I want you guys to take care of yourselves, man. Love each other. And Mom and I will see you. Those of you who are in Houston, we'll see you next weekend. But we look forward to seeing each and every one of you at some point, man, in the future. I want y'all to take care of yourself. Have a great Friday and enjoy your weekend. Esaul, hang around for a minute, man.
You sure? Everybody have a good night.
All right.